were advised that they could opt out or opt in to the deferred resignation program, an offer akin to a gradual buyout last week. So far, more than 1% of that workforce has chosen to take part ahead of the Thursday deadline, making up between 20,000 and 40,000 federal workers, according to the U.S. media. The White House, which previously said it expected as many as 200,000 people to accept, told U.S. media they expect a spike in participation in the next 24 hours. I'll take a moment here. We're doing a weave from the Daily Dispatch. I want to say a heartfelt message to any federal employee considering this. Do it. Do it now. Do it now. You don't have that long. Time is running out. And when this deadline passes, you're not going to be able to take it back. You don't want to be sitting there a month from now going, wait, I could be sitting at home not working, making the same amount of money, and I could be doing that until September. You're going to be sitting there in your federal office through February, through March, through April, through May, June, and July, and August, and the whole time you're going to be sitting there thinking, I could be at home right now. I could be being paid just as much. I could have gotten a new job at this point. And here's the big kicker. Here's the big selling point for you. You're still going to get fired. You're going to get fired one way or another. This is a win-win situation for us and for Trump. You either take the buyout now, thank you very much, goodbye, or you don't take the buyout and you get fired anyway. And by this point next month, you're sitting at home, only you're collecting a fraction of your income through unemployment, and you're going to really be kicking yourself then. Don't make the mistake. This isn't something you can take back, and it's not something that's going to save you from being fired at all. So just take the buyout now. You'll actually benefit from it. You'll have a nice couple of months. I'll be jealous of you. I'll be sitting here working and actually having to earn my keep, and you'll be sitting at home doing less damage than you were in your federal office. So I think you should do it. Personally, as a friend, I think you should probably take this offer. It's a really good offer. At the end of the day, you're just going to get fired anyway, so you might as well take the buyout until September. You don't have long. Time's running out. Tick-tock, tick-tock, go now. Resign immediately. Okay? All right. Back to the Daily Dispatch. Pentagon drafting plans to pull all U.S. troops from Syria, fulfilling longtime Trump pledge. A Syria pullout has been a long time in coming, but Pentagon new self-declared President Ahmed al-Sharar, his Al-Qaeda name is Abu Muhammad al-Jalani. So Trump actually trying to fulfill his long-stated pledge to bring the troops home from Syria, and hopefully not just transfer them over, to Gaza or something.
So a Texas Democrat is bringing forth the first articles of impeachment of Donald Trump's second.
There we go.
Finally, with this, FCC chairman releases full transcript of spliced Kamala Harris 60 Minutes interview. Now the transcript has been released, we can clearly see that 60 Minutes completely cut the word salad out and only included the last half of her answers. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr on Wednesday released the full transcript of former Vice President Kamala Harris's interview with 60 Minutes on CBS, in which the network deceptively edited her to make her sound more competent while giving an answer on Israel, and really the whole thing was chopped to pieces. And I don't know how much it's worth going back over this. After all, she was defeated. I mean, we had how many months of having to endure Kamala Harris try to fumble her way through interviews, but we'll revisit it. We'll show you a couple clips. The whole thing is like 60 minutes long, and I kid you not, I was just jumping around the timeline of it. Everywhere I clicked, it was Kamala Harris saying something just utterly vapid and meaningless and really incomprehensible. It's worth it to look up. We'll look back at it, if for no other reason, just to bask in the reality that she's not our president. To remember what we were spared from. 4 years of this woman just saying nothing. Just saying nothing. Like, it truly is crazy, and we'll show you some clips. But it was so much of just like, what type of leverage can the United States bring to bear against Israel? And you're just like, oh, well, it's a good question. Israel is our ally, okay? So let's start with that. All right, Israel is our ally.
Hey, Midwest.
Okay. So Israel's our ally, and that means that we're friends. So that means
A little later start this morning. I had to
and just like what
scrape an inch of ice off of the
this lady was
window.
president of the United States. This incompetent.
See how much ice is on the hood.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm fighting for you. You are fighting for me. We are in this together. I need all of you that listen to the show and share the clips that never go to the AlexJonesStore.com and go get the Ultimate Seahorse capsules, the superfoods. Go get the Ultimate Super Strongest Turmeric Formula, the lot more in it. To go get our super strong
Okay, brother.
antiviral immune system booster. That's so good for you, not just immune system.
Yeah, it's not bad on the road, other than right by my house. If you look at the beginning of the stream, you see how there's still a sheet of ice by the house, but
These are things you need, and they're completely
looks like they definitely took care of the main roads here.
people and a lot of other great stuff. And then it keeps this broadcast on the air. But I need your help. This is an action of war. So you're standing up for yourself when you share the articles, when you share the reports, when you pray for the broadcast, when you buy the products at thealexjonesstore.com. This is not a spectator sport. This is man in the arena, game time stuff. Without going into tons of minutia and boring you. From the bottom of my heart, on the soles of my children,
Yeah, probably not.
I need money to continue this fight.
Like I said, by the house was bad, but this is nothing.
We're on 400 plus stations. We're on cable and TV.
I knew everybody was freaking out about nothing. Although last night was cool with the lightning and thunder.
Millions and millions in InfoWars, and that's not even counting on the grab it and put it wherever. And I understand the economy's been screwed up, and I understand all the stuff that's going on. But I mean, 99.9% of people that watch, listen to the show, never understand. This isn't a simulation. This isn't an entertainment show. This isn't a fight. This is information war. I know what I'm talking about. I know how to beat the enemy. They really don't like me and my guests on information because I've got strategies that will defeat them, and you see that working. And very prominent people listen to me, and we have a huge effect on influencing the fight for human liberty. I'm a lobbyist for humanity and freedom and justice and love. So, go to the AlexJonesStore.com. Go there and get the products today. They're great products. It's an adventure to wear those t-shirts.
Yeah, just AlexJonesStore.com.
I mean, people finally get the shirts that go, oh my God, somebody just bought my dinner. Oh my God, I'm meeting all these great people about it. Yeah. All of this, I mean, the products make them healthier, more focused, and live longer. They're just top of mind. The Patriot apparel, the adventure that happened through that. The challenge, I mean, all of it is cool. I mean, I want that stuff on a site, even if they didn't have a show or taking on the New World Order and been targeted. This is not a normal show where I can just sit up here and do what we do. We have the biggest Democrat law firms filed in court 2 months ago that they've spent over the years $326 million. It takes money to fight tyranny. It's one thing to have courage and information and be willing to do it. But if you're going to prominently take them on and they're going to hit back, you gotta square up and go for broke. But I can't do it without you. You are the variable. It's in your hands whether I continue to give this everything I've got. All I ask you to do is
For sure, brother. Get you some rest.
continue to commission me, and I swear on on my soul, I will never betray you, and I will give you everything I've got. Turn me loose!
Watch it live right now at band.video. Back to the next episode of the Great Unveiling. The Great Awakening is truly on its way. Yeah, I don't know if we ever could have predicted this. The victory that we're having in the info war right now is total, is complete. And even for us, it's a revelation. And it's the type of thing, and I'm really not like a big details guy personally. You just sort of get this sense of what's going on. And I might, in some cases you do the research, you dig down, you find out what it is. But usually at the end of the day, what I'm just left with is just a sense, an overall information as to what is going on. And now it's like
Yeah, I'm 15 minutes from work, so
the outline,
be good.
Now all of the shades are being filled in, all of the colors are appearing, all the little details are coming about. It's like putting glasses on for the first time. Before you could generally see the shapes, you go, yeah, the whole United States government seems to be operating like some sort of, vacuum funnel system, taking money from the American people and sending it out to leftist organizations to corrupt the youth and steal more money in this sick, self-perpetuating feedback loop. But it was just sort of out there as an idea. This is happening, but take a lot to go in and actually find out who's doing it, where the money's going, and now it's just exploding. It's just all of this information is coming out and being made apparent. Yeah, this is us. We're walking out and seeing color for the first time in the land of Oz. And realizing that, yeah, we're surrounded by witches, freaks, monsters. So it's amazing to see this happen. It's amazing how quickly, how rapidly, how all-encompassing this is. Have we censored clip 13? All right, we gotta, because it fits right into what I'm saying.
Morning on Indoctrinated.
We gotta get that censored because it's a Democrat guy, black guy on TikTok, describing this, going, realizing that for the first time in his life, I've been lied to. The Democrat Party has been lying to me this entire time. And it's becoming clear how massive this influence, patronage network truly is, with USAID as just one component of a much larger conglomeration of activist groups and NGOs, so-called charities. And you have to take just one of these little data points and be able to extrapolate
no ice on the road
and understand really just how interconnected all of it is.
Yeah, it's ice. It's like an inch thick, or half inch.
Going to my wife and I, especially when we were dating, always went to these
Yeah, it took me a half hour to get it all off the car just to where I could drive.
For a picnic and watch Shakespeare in some auditorium or whatever, or outside somewhere. And over the years, we started.
Roads are good here. They were bad over by the house. If you look at the very beginning of the stream, they didn't even touch the roads by my house. But obviously, this is the highways, freeways, real good.
Where the place didn't make any sense anymore. And they don't tell you that this is queer instead of saying Romeo as a man, they say Romeo as a woman, something. And it's like the whole play is about gender differences. The whole play is about Romeo's out there just like strutting around the streets, getting in fights, like doing whatever he wants because he's a boy, and Juliet is like locked up in her room and not allowed to go anywhere because she's a girl, and it's all about like, you know, overcoming the separation between the genders. Like, that's what the whole play's about. So if you make Romeo a woman, the play doesn't even make any sense at all. None of it makes any sense whatsoever. So for the first time that we walked out during the intermission, we were just like, this is stupid. What are we even watching this for? This is terrible. We got up and walked out. And then you like saw, you know, it was like, man, all these people sponsored it. It was this cooperation. So what I'm saying is, when you have some grant that you see where USAID gives money to this group.
Yeah, it's supposed to get up to 39 here today, so a bit warm here too. I think it's already 33.
It's like, you have to understand, they give them $1 million. The people running that pay themselves whatever, $100,000. They've never built anything, never created anything. They've never had anybody buy their product. They've never proven that they're worth anything. They've never justified an investment, but they get $1 million and they take 100,000 of it because they feel like they deserve it. And then they take that money and they distribute it to theater groups. That you've got just some theater group that wants to put on a play, but you need funding to do that. You need a location, you need the costumes, you may need to pay the people if they're, you know, having to rehearse for a long time. So they need money. You have the money to give them, and you say, yeah, we can do this, but you gotta make a few changes here. We're all about inclusivity here. So
oh wow,
a woman. And whether
yeah,
they
that's
want
warm.
to or not, if they want the play to happen, they need the money. They need to, you know, change the artistic.
We got in the 50s last week for a couple days. I think it's going to get,
you know, they may want to
a little bit warmer.
Advertise, you know, get people to go, so then they, you know, the same organization that got the $1 million, some of it goes to this, some of it goes to, you know, corrupting and destroying the play that they're putting on. But then they also, you know, want to make ads, so maybe they, you know, have print ads in the leftist newspapers, so you're funding the media through this, and they'll make, you know, commercials that'll air on local television, but only, you know, certain channels that have the right messaging. So it's like, not only are you funding this activist group who shouldn't exist in the first place and is only able to exist because they have a friend in government who can write them a blank check with your money, but then that money then gets redispersed out to the, you know, whatever gay players association, and it gets fed to the leftist media so they can advertise it, and then it gets spread, blah blah, and then, you know, people who actually don't want their artistic output to be co-opted to perpetuate some weirdo leftist political ideology is probably just gonna like drop out. You do that enough times and something becomes, geez, Republicans, there's no artists that are Republicans. Where's all the artists Republicans? They don't exist. You conservatives can't create art. Like, no, this has gone on for not just decades, but years, and I mean, not just years, but for decades this has happened. It's been this, you know, consistent feedback loop where only leftist organizations are the ones getting funds. Only the gay version of Romeo and Juliet is going to get the city funding, the federal funding, the whatever it is to be put on. So then the only plays you're able to see have been tainted and destroyed and manipulated by these weird arbitrary diversity requirements. And it just goes on and on and on. And so when you understand, like when we're talking about USAID grants, understand each one of those
3
grants,
lanes are closed, 6 miles ahead, holy shit.
Given to you. It's like a cancer, it metastasizes. It's like
I think I'm getting off in a mile.
Right? You give it to one group, they disperse it out to their other little groups, who disperse it out to their other little groups, who keep all these people employed, and suddenly they're the ones with the money to donate to, you know, political campaigns. And of course, of that $1 million that you give to the activist group, they'll peel off maybe 50,000 of it to give to a lobbyist to guarantee they get $3 million instead of $1 million next year. And again, it's a self-perpetuating, self-funding with your money that they rob from taxpayers who don't want anything to do with any of this. And they all get rich from it, and then are able to go around, walk around going, yes, I run a successful non-governmental organization. I run a successful charity promoting
Hey, Matt.
inclusivity. But really, have you had any tangible positive effect on anything ever? No, but you make $300,000 a year. Great. So is this facts get exposed, people are coming to realize that not only do they have their finger on the scale of culture, but this entire facade of leftism is completely a fraud. All of it is fraudulent. All of it is manufactured. All of it is propaganda. And people are realizing this. They're coming to this understanding. And well, they're just not very happy about it. Let's go now to clip number 13. Here's a former Democrat realizing he's been lied to for the first time. Let's watch.
This political party, the Democratic Party, have lied to us about everything. They've lied about being the party of the middle class. They've lied about being the party of peace. They've lied about being the party that wants to help poor people. Okay? What the last several weeks have proven to us all is that this is a cadre of criminals and losers and spoiled children of affluent parents who were more concerned about looking good than actually doing good. These are people who were more concerned about looking like they were doing something for the American people than actually doing things for the American people. And that's why I'm so angry. Because this party lied to me while stealing my tax dollars. The Democratic Party lied to us all while they brought in millions of illegal immigrants for their own political purposes for the last 4 years. 20 to 30 million illegal aliens brought in. And now we come to USAID being probably the largest money laundering operation in American history. Congratulations, Dems. You've outdone even Bernie Madoff. I'm disgusted beyond words. Disgusted with the waste of money. Disgusted with the waste, with the fraud. With the way that you people use color legitimacy, and the way you use black people as mules to get us to push whatever agenda you wanted to. The amount of division you used black people to sow upon the American people, you used us for that. And I will never, ever forgive this political party. The shit that I've gone through personally. Y'all were supposed to be the party of free speech, the party of women's rights. You have immolated all of those things. And then, as if enough weren't enough, you then decide that you're going to die on the hill of USAID, a government audit. You're trying to prevent a government audit because some of you really are trying to stay out of prison. We see the game now. Y'all been out here telling us that the game was rigged against certain people. Well, now we found out who the people that were rigging the game were. Congratulations. Y'all are never going to win another political race ever again. Not if I can help it.
I love that guy. I love that. You know, we've talked a lot about, very recently, since the election especially, the left seemingly coming around. The likes of Cenk Uygur, Anna Kasparian, starting to wake up a little bit. That's the type of video that we need from them. Not this whole, but the corporate Democrats just aren't doing it for us anymore, so we need a new party. But actual revelation, actually realizing, I've been lied to my entire life. And the thing I thought I was fighting against is coming from the people I was fighting for. Yeah, it's got to be shocking. Look, we're not here to say we told you so. Although, if we're on the top, if we're saying who's told who what, we have been telling you this the entire time. That's not the point of this. That's not why we're here. Because the fact is, this is what we've been saying the entire time. This is what we've been begging people to understand. And they're kept away from us with these false labels. With the insinuation or you know, outright lie about what motivates us. This is all we've been trying to say. All we've been trying to say the entire time is look at the corruption. Look at the manufactured consent. Look at the methods by which the media and the deep state, you know, spy state, national security apparatus operates. Look at what they're pushing us toward. Are abject evil. They're the most despicable, underhanded, conniving scumbags. And now do you understand the righteous indignation that Trump supporters feel when we're the ones who are called racist? We're the ones who are told the victims of censorship. Be the victims of all of this while our enemies are funded to the tunes of millions of dollars with our money because they don't produce anything. It's starting to become clear the simmering fury in the average American person who's been aware of this in a vague or ill-defined way, and now simply having the details filled in about exactly who, exactly how, exactly where all of this money comes from and goes. And I want to make one thing perfectly clear. Unlike
we'll be shoveling ice here.
National Review article, whose headline is USAID is a failure, let's understand that USAID has been a bombshell success. It has been an absolute 100% success up until now.
All right, guys. I'll see you in a bit.
Saying USAID is a failure.
Love you. Thanks for hanging out.
Is insinuating that if they were just